let's talk about the wrong and the do's and
frustration
the don'ts.
for not showing the price. Why do some properties have prices displayed? Why do not? Stay tuned for this episode of Morning Minutes. Good morning, episode 322, Morning Minutes with myself, Michael Bergio, Mark Novak, showing the price when a property is displayed. A great topic request from a viewer that we got yesterday, so I would love to talk about it. Mark Novak, good morning.
How are you, bud?
Yeah, good. I think this is a good topic because I reckon a lot of people get frustrated when they don't see a sold price either, like ever. So what sort of, is it the agent or is it the owner that makes it the decision on it? What are some factors for it not being shown?
You know what? I reckon it's the agent's fault because I think the agents aren't educating their clients. And the bottom line is some owners are a bit gun shy about when they sell. They're not entirely happy with the price, and it happens more in a crappy market where they're so embarrassed about the price they ask for it not to be disclosed.
And I think a lot of the times, a lot of people don't realize as well, it becomes public once it settles anyway, through RP data, which we use, and through basically the council records. So sometimes a lot of owners get worked up about it, where it's sold, and I've heard of some very aggressive phone calls when they want it private. And I think a couple of factors could be, I think one of the big ones is, you're right about the price and not being disclosed, because we've had many times where an owner will be telling their friends their property is worth $3 million and it sells for, say, 2.5, but it may have only been worth 2.5. And in that occasion, a lot of the time, they don't want it disclosed. Mark, I was just saying, a lot of the times an owner will be telling their friends it's worth $3 million. They've got this great asset when it's only worth 2.5. So when it sells for 2.5, they want it quite private as well.
Look, and we've had the problem internally as well. So often we're having that discussion with reps internally where we're just saying you've got to educate your owner that, look, in 6 weeks, it's out in the ether anyway. And there's so much data out there these days that as an agent, you actually look better if there's a sales price, because that helps and facilitates other home sellers and it helps other home buyers. So there's almost like a moral duty or conduct where you should have the price out there to help your buyers, your sellers, even your fellow colleagues in the industry. Because the reality is, it's almost a bit childish saying, "Oh, I don't want my price up." Okay, you wanted your price up.
Yeah,
get it up there.
Especially when it becomes public once it settles. So you're almost making an issue over something that can't be stopped. So it's up to the agent to really educate the owner, going, well, it's going to come public, everybody's going to know. So you're sort of creating a big deal over nothing as well. And it's a really good point you made about the educational side as well. Plus, can you imagine a supermarket with no prices? Just ask. Yeah.
It's we are selling anything whenever there's not a price. It is nuts, and that's buy prices, right? But sell prices is used just as much for people.
Yeah, exactly. The only times I've seen it sort of a sold price withheld is you may have, which doesn't make it right, is there may be 2 properties that are very similar in the same building or next to each other, and one sells at a lower price and the other agent's still marketing the other one. But that doesn't make it right either, with that sort of price expectation. as well.
And I've just got details here. It's Deanne Emily that asked this awesome question today, and that's what we're talking about. Do you disclose a sales price? Do you not disclose a sales price, and why? Her question was, why are some sold prices displayed and others not? Is it up to the buyer or the agent whether or not the sold price is advertised?
And that's a great question. A lot of it is there's no set rule. It's not like it's in legislation that if the buyer requests no price to be displayed, that's honoured.
No
Same with the owner. A lot of the time, the agent will do their best to accommodate because they don't want to piss off a client. But then that goes back what we said at the beginning. It's up to the agent to educate both parties that these figures will be public knowledge once it's settled. So you don't want them getting worked up over something they can't control. That's a big thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, if a buyer doesn't want a price advertised, how's that treated in real estate? Because again, like guys, there's actually no set legislation on this, so it is up to the individual seller or agent. If a buyer doesn't want a price advertised, how would you treat that, Michael?
Well, I'd really push back on the public knowledge side of things. And a lot of the time they sort of just go, oh, okay, well, it doesn't matter then. And in the event
why would they not want the price they paid advertised?
A lot of the time, in my experience, they've told family and friends it's worth a lot more and it sells for a lot less. So it's embarrassment is probably a big one. Or
never for a buyer.
I've had it where they've paid a lot. There was an auction, there was a lot of competition, and they even know they paid more than what it was worth. Like it was worth 1-1. That's what it was guiding. There was two parties going crazy at auction, and it goes like 1-5, just something insane. And they're just like, "Do you mind keeping that quiet? We know we paid a lot for it. We don't want the neighbours to know." And then
So how would you treat it?
I'll just push back saying it's public knowledge, but I wouldn't. And then I would say it's going to become public after 6 weeks. So I may honour it for the first month, but then I say once it's settled, it's going public. So we'll put it public and they're generally okay with it. Once the hype around it.
But that sausage has sizzled after 4 weeks or 6 weeks. So I think the importance of having a sold price instantly advertised and is for future buyers, future sellers, for your colleagues in the industry, I think is absolutely critical. And I reckon if you're an agent and you can be a ninja with saying to buyers, no, look, it's got to be advertised, full stop, because, or to sellers, it's got to be advertised, full stop, because, and there's good reasons for that. Then I think it's a better real estate world if you've got sold prices advertised. Like, so, on the back of, I know we've just spoken about the buyer perspective of not having a price advertised. What's the seller perspective of why would a seller not want to have a sold price advertised?
Yeah, generally they've accepted lower than they expected and they don't want that public. And then a lot of time they use the excuse, I don't want my family members to know how much money I'm getting, things like that. But once again, it comes back to it's going to be public. If they want to know, they're going to find out. A lot of the time you'll honour it just till that settlement because you still want a recommendation, you still want a referral, and it is something they do get really worked up about. So as good as it is to sort of say it's for everyone's, well, it's great for the market, the public, and it's going to get known. When you still want them to write that review, you don't want that last argument to be you displaying the price and then they say you're a crap agent, because a lot of the time that recommendation or review will be based on your last sort of interaction. And if you have that argy-bargy about that, a lot of agents will not pick that battle for those reasons.
But I think if you're well-natured about it, and if you feel really passionate that it's the right thing to do, it shouldn't be hard to convince a seller that a sold price should be advertised. If you're that passionate that it's the right thing to do in the marketplace and in the industry, it shouldn't be that hard, even if it's 4 weeks, or like to say, look, don't worry about the 4 weeks, let's just do it now. Because like if it's seriously the right thing to do, I think there's a duty of an agent to say, let's do this, let's advertise the price. It helps other buyers out there, it helps other sellers out there, it's assisting, rather than, it's, how there's that saying, it takes one muscle to frown, it takes one muscle to smile and about 30 muscles to frown.
Yes.
My point is that one negative person that you're worrying about knowing is just like negative Nancy, and there's so many other positive people out there that you're actually helping by having that price out there. I think agents are being lazy by not actually being passionate about getting prices advertised.
100%. And it's probably only 10%, 5% of owners and buyers that ever push back on the price being displayed. And then it's probably only another 5% that you can't explain it's inevitable and the benefits of doing so. So it is a very small majority. But I do know there's some agencies out there that will just not display any prices on any listing. And I believe that's because they've got that old mentality of show less information and people will call us for it and we can capture the lead. That's how people used to market real estate back in the day. Hey, Mark, like 30, 40 years ago, where they wouldn't give a price on a property. They wouldn't even give a land size. They would give nothing. They'd basically just say it's for sale and wanting the buyer to call us and we will tell them.
Well, that's right. One could say it's very old-fashioned that the person who supplies the most information wins the business. The person who assists buyers and sellers wins the business. So we've spoken about why a buyer wouldn't want to have a price advertised. We've spoken why a seller wouldn't want to have a price advertised. Why would an agent not want to have a price advertised?
I think it's a combination of both. There's the point of view they believe if I don't advertise the price, a prospective vendor will call me asking for the price. So they want lead generation, or they believe it's a very low price, and they believe that regardless if it is or isn't, or there could have been something going on with the sale, they believe it will be a representation of them. So any prospective vendor, that was a low price, I'm not going to call that agent. I think they're your main reasons why they wouldn't. What do you think?
I think embarrassment. At the end of the day, I think agents are embarrassed about the price. They don't want to advertise the price. I think that it's definitely, but it is an absolute corker having a price advertised. It helps everyone. Luke brought up a good one about do you advertise an increased price to create panic for other buyers? It's almost a bit of a victory when you see that. I guess you could. I don't know if panic's a good word that I want to promote, but I know what you mean. Like, it shows there's that activity in the market. I've got a good one. Advertising a price on a signboard.
For sale or sold?
Sold.
I reckon, now you said it, I actually want to do that more. I reckon that's a great idea.
Get this. It's the first question you ask yourself. When you go past a property, the first question you ask yourself when you see sold,
how much? Is
how much did that sell for? Now, devil's advocate, do you actually say, no, I'm not going to tell, I want them to call me, and if I don't put up a price, then they're not going to call me if I put up a price, so I'm not going to put up a price? Or do you genuinely, wholeheartedly say, I want to help everyone out there. They're all asking this question in their head. I'm going to put the sold on the board.
Yeah, I like that. I think I'll start doing that. I reckon it's really good. Now,
first question you ask when you see a sold.
Now, Michael's asked, morning, Anmel, morning, Michael. Michael's asked, should agents be made to show what their opinion of value is on the agency agreement after the sale is complete? So many agents buy the listing. He goes, sorry, that's meant for all Karens. Well, there's already a process for that. That is fair trading. I don't see the benefit or negative of like saying this is what I appraised it at to prove a point one way, shape, or other. I think
I think
Yeah.
I think enough effort has gone into the industry from behalf of the regulators and on behalf of the agents and behalf of the people complaining on this whole pricing thing. I think we've sorted that out. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's with those asking prices. But at the end of the day, guys, when the reason why these regulations are coming in is because people are complaining. I guess it comes down to what's the number 1, 2, and 3 complaint that fair trading gets. Maybe it is still pricing.
Yeah.
But that sounds like a wrap up. We're at 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and people sort of know when an agent's been dodgy and underquoted, and they sort of know, and then they put the complaint in. And I think people don't really like it when agents go, I priced it at 1.2, sold for 1.4, I'm the best. So anyway, that's a wrap.
They cop it. I want to thank Deanne Emily for her question, which we've done today's topic on. A corker of a question, one that was so obvious I didn't even bloody think about it, but when I saw it I was like, that's genius. So thank you so much, and encourage everyone, if you've got any questions on your mind that you want a professional to answer, throw that question at us. We'll dedicate some time with some expert advice.
Yes, and we've got another one we'll do tomorrow about deposit amounts. So really appreciate it. Send them through. And she's watching as well. Thank you very much for watching.
Hey, what a legend.
Awesome. Well, thanks, everyone. Back tomorrow morning.
Take care. See ya.
Bye.